Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. It is your host, myself, Mark.
And me, Chris. We're going to continue on from last episode
Of
with
games.
Last time we spoke about retro arcades. This time we're going to bring it
Modern day with the gaming that we currently have.
You haven't played. You have and played. He's played it, and I have, but haven't played as of yet. Been meaning to, just haven't got round to it. And that is Pal World.
Yes, Pal World, a game that I told the friendship group as soon as I saw the trailer.
Like 2018.
Yes.
It was one of the first lads' nights at the flat.
Oh, and then I remember when we used to hang out with people, I used to tell them all about it and show them trailers.
Yeah, and shut up about it.
So basically, Pokemon with guns.
Yeah. And another game which is like Pokemon and Power World, but it's called TemTem. It's more on the Pokemon side of Power World of games, and it's something that Scott and I have been playing together. And honestly, it's quite fun.
Is it just the Nintendo one, or do they have it on the PC as well? Just so people, if they're interested.
As far as I'm aware, it's just a Switch game, and it is very similar to Pokemon. However, it's got one thing that Pokemon doesn't have.
What's that?
Proper cooperative.
Oh, nice.
Now, let me explain what I mean by that. So, in the latest Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet, you and your friend can walk around the world and some can battle. Like, you can see each other and interact in that, but it's, it's alright. TemTem is chaotic. Because TemTem goes, oh, you're playing with a friend. Okay, everything you do is a double battle.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's quite good.
So if your friend is running off ahead in the route and they get an encounter, you're teleported next to them and you're in the battle with them. But you only get half your team. Because you can only bring a maximum of 6 on your side. Right. So you'll get 3 of your team and they'll get 3 of theirs. Yeah. So you've actually got to strategize what you want to bring in. Like Scott and I have essentially the same team but a different starter. And we're slowly varying it because we're still learning. The types are different. It's essentially a Pokemon ripoff. It's more of a Pokemon ripoff than Power World is.
Okay, so with these games, in theory, every game has the same mechanics in it. It's just how they're done. Now, people like Pokemon wanted more out of their games. So a lot of people have actually then started designing their own, or what they wanted from that side. Because you compare to most shooters, they're out there, you could say everyone's copied the World Wars.
Yeah.
The same would be like Pokemon. You're capturing creatures and they're based on animals.
Yeah. Any football game, you're just basing it off FIFA.
Yeah. Yeah, so
any racing game.
Prezil and then FIFA, yeah. And it's a mechanic where you're not losing people to one or the other. If anything, it's healthy competition.
Exactly. If you have more variations, people actually might buy your game because you're like, oh, I really like this style of game, so I'll go for this. It's like Stardew Valley and Story of Seasons.
Yeah.
Very similar sort of games.
Yeah, and both games are quite nice. Like with the old Harvest Moon story and that.
Yeah.
You used to have certain stuff that you had to arrive at a certain date and time to get the event, whereas I think Stardew Valley is a little bit more relaxed. It's like...
Yeah, Story of Seasons is very chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to... So TemTem is what Scott and I have been playing through, and I love it. It's actually reinvigorated my liking into this sort of game. It's just the creatures are different. They're not as obvious animals, although I did get a platypus. And I friggin' love the platypus. I called him Perry.
Yeah, I exactly didn't.
Because I was just like, a platypus? Perry the platypus!
But yeah, I mean those type of games make it worthwhile, and with Power Worlds is yes, you can be evil in a sense.
Go on, how?
So you can have the pals work for you, and you can make them work in tough conditions.
What, like villages in Minecraft tough?
In a regard, yes. Let's say you don't really give them a bed. They'll still work, but they'll sleep on the ground. They'll be unhappy, and you might not get the best of results.
Ah.
Or you have some people that will make them actual rooms. They'll actually put like a sauna that they can go on. But different pals have different work ethic. So there are some that will be really good damage, but they might have lazy trait. So when it comes to if they're working at your base doing like projects or farming, they might be less likely to do anything. And you'll get a message saying like, oh, they seem to be slacking off. But then there are some that will have better crafting, so they might be able to speed design. But how you work is how you make it. Like, people have made prisons. But there are people that make a nice little Eden, and what's quite nice is that each pal, if it's a water one, it's not always assigned to say one job. So it might be that one's cutting down trees, but if the crops need to be watered and it's a water-based Pokemon, it will water the crops. Someone else might actually harvest it. There are some pals that you can have in your base that are used just for like gathering resources, and you can make it as much as you like, and you battle with them as well. It's very similar, and you can also develop your skills where you can start giving them actual weapons. So you can give some of the rocket launchers, AKs, and it's quite funny in the sense where you think like a pal that's using a gun. But what's nice about it is it's not serious in the fact like you're going to feel bad for what you do. You can have fun, it's wacky, it's still early access, and they've got a good roadmap of what they're going to be adding in. People can have servers like in Minecraft. People can just do their own worlds, and there's enough
And
in
you
there.
can mod it as well, I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Mods.
yeah, so they look like you'd be able to mod it out.
Because I saw on Curse Forge.
Yes, so you can add different things in, and it's one of those games where it's still early access, so they're going to be adding more, so they will add like PvP. I mean, currently there are cheaters in the game that are somehow being able to like kill other players, but that will get ironed out, and it will happen. As an early access game, there will be bugs, there will be stuff that happens. I've got a bug at the moment that I'm still trying to fix in mine, but not disheartened about the game. I'll still play it, but I might just wait for it to get patched out and then come back to it. I've got that problem at the moment. Others around the world do, but it might just be that I need to sort a few files out and move it around. But yeah, basically Power Worlds gives you a lot of freedom. There is a rough story, and also the more pals of the same type you capture, you can get like bonus experience for it, and you get better. And there's different ways you can capture them. So you might be able to like different angles. You can weaken them. They've got little dungeons, and basically there's sometimes you could just throw one of the capture devices from behind it, and it's got the surprise element, and it'll give up the percentage.
I've watched a streamer play a little bit of it whilst I was doing some other things.
And the best thing you got is that you've got the Syndicate, which is the enemy group in the game, and you can actually find their camps and liberate the pals that are in there.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can actually break free, and then they join you, so you've broken them out, so you actually got
I
them.
want to break free.
And it's funny, because it's like, same with pals, is that they're universal. The fact, like, yes, they'll fight, but you'll get ones that you can ride, you can fly, they can glide, and all that kind of things. And you've also got your own gear. You've actually got like parachutes that you can deploy and go down. Now, the funny thing about the game that people caught off by mistake is that they can actually capture humans.
Oh.
So when...
That will probably get patched.
No, I think that's actually...
Oh, you think it's intentional?
Because I think it was a funny thing that happened, because it's basically the description when you read the thing is like, you probably shouldn't have captured them. But I first noticed it because someone threw one of the capture devices and it hit a Syndicate member instead, or it hit one of the traders that walks around, and like you just captured a... So yes, you can capture people, and you can sell them for quite a high price. There is someone that will buy them.
Yay, human trafficking.
Basically, it's a game that gives you ultimate freedom, but it's optional, you don't have to do that.
Don't let Luffy see this.
Well, I'm sure Luffy might approve.
No, I think that. And obviously Pokemon's Pokemon.
But yeah, Pokemon is a game that everyone wants to see them do more, and I think they've
they need
now
to really...
been kicked.
Yeah, I think Legends Arceus did them a bit of good.
Yeah,
And they should really make the next Legends game and add a couple more features to it, but they just need to take their time and make sure there's no bugs, because that was the main problem people had with Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
They weren't happy with the graphics. And most of the game, also oh my god, so many cutscenes. Pokemon, I know you don't see this, but if you do, cut down on the cutscenes. Gee whiz, just let us play the game.
So there are games that can do it well with cutscenes. There are some that actually just give you in-game stuff like books to read.
Yeah, Pokemon used to be fine until about Gen 7. Don't know why, but ever since Alola, I just feel like they've ramped up the cutscenes, and I spend more no, I don't want to read this.
Yeah.
I just want to kill things. I don't want to read about how's life.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing, because
you can't speed read it.
Because games have now, some developers have developed, like the newest game that's going around, which is Helldivers 2. There isn't many cutscenes at all. You basically got someone that talks over you, and you're just beaming down to planets fighting either robotics or bugs.
Oh my god, a talk-over thing. That would be so good.
So basically, you'll hear lines going over. So if you do like a mission introduction, it will be like, you've achieved this, or say like your team's somewhere else on the map. It will be like, you've destroyed the bug's nest.
Yeah, just a little. I think one of my favourite things for exposition dumping is actually Valheim. Simply because Hugin, you're pretty much the first few days you got Hugin flying in, and he's like giving you a little, for reference, he's a crow. He's a big crow. He's one of Odin's. He flies in, he gives you some information, and he pisses off to leave you to it. And then you're on your own for absolutely ages. And then when you get back to the Mistlands, he's just like, here's my brother. He's going to tell you some more stuff. And they tell you a bit more.
Yeah, it's one of those things, but the game does give you age. And another game that does that is the Mines of Moria. They actually have it where you'll hear some lines going on, or you'll read your journal, but you'll play it. You'll just play it as normal. You'll have like their versions of a bird come down. I think they have the hawks that come down, and it basically tells you like, we can't go this way. You need to go a different way.
Yeah.
And their maps are just differently generated, and it works because it's a little bit of input, and you're making your story as you play it.
Yeah.
And I think more games are going down that way, but I've noticed it's more of a trend with indie makers. So the
mainstream.
Yeah, and I think that's shocking what's going on. I mean, another game that's come out recently was Nightingale, which is basically like the Victorian era of like where magic's been introduced.
Yeah.
And you've got different worlds. So instead of just being in one world, there might be 3 different dimensions, and each one will have different resources in that you might gather. So even though you might leave the start place, you might go back there once to collect something that you need.
Yeah.
You build up bases, and you fight magical creatures.
Oh, sounds good.
Same like in Stranded, which was basically, I think, that was Ark and Valheim hybrid mixed together. And it's kind of like, you can play up to 16 players on a map, or you can work on your own, but you build your story. And it's not cutscene based. The other thing is cutscene takes a lot of time preparation, and it can make or break a game.
Yeah,
Whereas,
I think it's hurting Pokemon more than it's helping at the minute. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the story. Some parts of the Gen 9 game where they did the cutscene was quite well done.
Yeah.
It was just building up to that point. Like, every gym leader had a long cutscene. I was just like, no, I just want to walk in, go, oh, you're the gym leader, fight me.
Yeah.
I don't need a cutscene. I just want to spam through chat and do the battle.
Yeah, if you ever want to see it, you can take it out your stride.
Yeah, I think they should make the cutscenes optional.
Yeah, or
are you a first-time player? Do you want all the cutscene exposition, or are you a vet player? You just want to play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Just like, let me go.
Because there are some games that cutscenes are needed, and there
Yeah.
are others that don't. I mean, it's like some of the Metal Gear Solid games are quite funny because sometimes they got more cutscenes than anything, but it was for the story element of it.
Yeah.
And then you got like Death Stranding, which is kind of like there is occasional cutscenes, but most of the story is told when you're walking around the field.
Yeah. I just think they could have done it without a cutscene. But hey ho, that's just me. And I think That's enough ranting.
That's the end of our Gamers' Thoughts this episode. Yeah. It's been a pleasure as always.
And we'll see you later.
Alright, adios muchachos.
Bye.
Just a couple of guys chatting over a brew. Won't tell you no lies, it's